Mr. Investor Lot, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing ChargePoint, which you can see is booming over 10% over to my left, baby. Oh, just above my head, baby. It's absolutely booming. I'm already up over 200% on this stock, and I think this stock can potentially hit $100 a share in late January or February. Remember, this is not financial advice and this is for entertainment only. So we're going to be talking about ChargePoint today, and we're going to be looking at the stock. We're going to be looking at what fundamentally is ChargePoint, and all the new contracts in play and why I think they're a great stock to pick. Remember, this is only my opinion and this is not any financial advice. So for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Miguel. I'm a retail investor here in London. I've made over 200% on this stock already. And what I do is I look for the biggest, juiciest growth stocks in certain markets. I want to 20x, 30x, 50x my money. So if you'd like to watch and join the journey, just click subscribe, hit me up with a like. Also, if you'd like to support my channel, you can drop me a donation in the box below. I've got a little PayPal link. But if you're unable to donate, I completely understand. But just you liking and subscribing to this video is enough for me. I actually received my first donation the other day. Shout out James, thank you very much for that. You made my day. I couldn't believe it. I said to myself, wow, this guy is amazing. Even if you just send £1, it means the world to me. So thank you so much. Okay, before we get into ChargePoint, I wanted to put you guys onto some other stocks I've been watching and I've invested in. So I invested in Jinko Solar here at the dip round about the 65 mark because I think this can also go to over $100 a share. It's basically a Chinese company. It's the biggest solar panel manufacturer in the world, as you can see here on the right. It says currently the world's largest solar panel manufacturer. And with the Democrats maybe winning the Senate, this could mean that, the clean energy policy is really going to come through. It's going to hit home and a lot of money is going to be approved. So Biden's climate plan calls for spending of $2 trillion over 4 years on clean energy investments and electrification. Another one I've been screaming about since $28 was Beam Global, which is off-grid electrical solutions where they get renewable energy straight from the sun. You can put it in any parking lot, anywhere there's a parking space, and you can drive your car onto the platform, charge up, and it can be installed in less than 4 minutes. So ChargePoint has dropped off the face of the earth, and it hit into the $36 mark. When it went into the $36 mark, I thought, you know what, this is a buy. Picked up some more shares and I thought this is a very good long-term hold. Reason being is what the company is about, how much infrastructure they've already taken, and how they continue to grow and get contracts with some of the biggest names possible. Democrats win and they take the Senate. This could be magical for electrical clean energy. And in terms of new deals, as the electric infrastructure comes into play, take a look around and notice which brands are popping up in your area. If you start to see this orange brand, then you know that is ChargePoint right there, and they're going to be taking over a lot of the market. They already have so many charging stations in countries across the world, and here it's just popped up in the city of Norway in Upper Michigan. The reason I was screaming about electrical infrastructure and how much money Biden and the Democrats can commit to electrical energy is because lots of these projects are funded by state grants. So state and government grants, you can see here $5,000 grant was provided as part of the EV technology initiative. So Michigan, Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy also provided 33% of funding. So lots of these energy companies and electric companies are going to benefit from all of the funding and grants coming into play in every single state across America. I'd also like to mention the major markets that are committed to electrification. So we've got all these big companies in the technology industry. We've got automotive, energy and oil and gas giants that are also looking into electrification because it is the future. That's where the investment's going. That's where the money will be made. So ChargePoint is essentially the charging platform partner for all of these different markets. So ChargePoint is estimating that it can take around about 3% of the global market. And as we can see here, that's about $1 billion in revenue. So here on the right is how many commercial ports they're predicting to take. And here we can see passenger EV sales is going to skyrocket, they predict, by 2026, 1.6 million vehicles annually. In terms of the timeline and where they've come from and where they're going, we can see that they've done this for over a decade now. In 2007, they started to find themselves in charging stations all across of America. They started to push this more and spread into Canada between 2013 to 2016, looking at commercial properties. So we're talking about retail, hospitality, educational places, and they also started to work with fleets as well as residential homes. So this is including single family and multi-family units. Then they started to get access to the European market, and you can see all of these countries here on the right. They started to sign contracts in different ones of these companies, and ChargePoint started to crop up all across the place. And finally, looking forward, they said this is their plan. They want to accelerate their new products. They want to put investment incrementally in marketing and sales. They want to put more funding into CPaaS. And this basically means communications platform as a service. This is a cloud-based platform that enables developers to add real-time communications to their own applications without needing to build back-end infrastructure and interfaces. They also want to expand across Europe and enable strategic acquisitions. So they might actually be buying out, energy providers or energy partners. What do we think, man? Blink, are you sweating? So this is good with their lines of business. You can see here that not only do they sell the products and the charging points, they also have all of these subscriptions. So as we know, a lot of people have moved into services and subscriptions to make sure they get a lifetime worth of revenue and income. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or if you guys are Workhorse bulls or not, but Workhorse has received a purchase order for 6,320 C-Series all-electric delivery vehicles. And this is from Pride Group Enterprises, which is a premier Canadian and US-based privately held company. So it has businesses in transportation and logistics. ChargePoint actually wants to access these fleets and these fleet operators and offer them deals and make sure they get recurring revenue streams from these logistics companies. If you take a look at who they're working with, you can just see so many names in here. You can see Netflix, you can see NASA, Microsoft, Fidelity, Westfield, Whole Foods. Some of these companies are just worldwide, They also offer companies to put their initial branding on. So you can see here 7-Eleven can actually sponsor and put their branding on these charging points. So these guys are currently winning North America and they're expanding across Europe. They're the #1 brand in North America. In terms of financials, they're looking at a 60% revenue compounded annual growth rate between 2021 and 2026. So say in 2021, they're expecting $135. And it says here the note that the dollars are in millions, all the way up to creating $2 billion down here. There's a race for EV vehicles in the autonomous EV market as well. So as we see robotic taxis coming into play, as we see lots of these smooth looking electric vehicle manufacturers starting to create batches of different models and cars, lots of these charging points and charging station companies are going to start to make a lot of money. Not forgetting that 2021 is the year of the electric truck. So we've got Rivian in play. We've also got Lordstown Motors that secured like thousands. I think it's something ridiculous like, don't quote me on it, but 80,000 to 90,000 trucks already pre-ordered. Not only that, but we also have last mile delivery race for the USPS trucks. So we're going to have the electrification of government fleets too. Beam Global is also important to ChargePoint because they've got a deal together. And as you can see, these are all of Beam Global's current customers. So we got AbbVie, we got Cadillac, baby. We've got loads of universities, colleges, state hospitals. Lots of different cities are also installing Beam's current infrastructure. So Beam's EV Arc product also has different charging point providers, and one of them is ChargePoint. And you can see Beam Global was also awarded a GSA mass contract to provide EV Arc solar EV charging infrastructure products to the federal government. And if you were to go onto Beam Global's website, you can see Beam EV charging units with ChargePoint EV charging stations are one of the products that federal agencies can order. And take a read of this. Remember, electrification, who are the ones who are going to be providing energy to these charging points and stations? The US government operates the largest civilian fleet in the world with more than 640,000 vehicles. As fleet electrification increases due to the resultant reduction in fuel costs, maintenance, emissions, the requirement for rapid deployment of EV charging infrastructure is expected to grow dramatically. And President-elect Joe Biden has also committed to deployment of more than 500,000 new public charging outlets by the end of 2030. So how much of this 500,000 public charging outlets will ChargePoint get? ChargePoint is always reminding people as well how much money you can actually save by owning an electric vehicle as the infrastructure comes into place. So it can show you how much miles per gallon your car will get. And the lower your current fuel economy, the more you'll save by going electric. And many businesses are actually offering charging for free or at a low price because they want you to stop by and purchase products for them. So here it says in the calculator, these are your estimated savings with ChargePoint. The average person in the US drives 13,476 miles per year. How many miles per gallon does your car get? Say on average, it can be 23.4 miles, so 24 miles. If you get an EV, how often will you charge on ChargePoint away from home? The average cost per kilowatt on ChargePoint is less than half the national average electricity price. Most charging is free because businesses want you to stop by. So these are the results. With a gas car, you'll spend $1,305. But if you switch to an EV car, you'll spend just $408 on charging. So that will save you $897. In other news around the world, we can see Sweden has hit record 50% electric vehicle share in December. So we can see here a little chart. You can see that 23% of those are petrol cars, 17.5% diesel, and massive over here, massive. The total EV sector is 49.4%. So in certain parts of Europe, there's been a massive shift towards clean energy for many years now, and we're starting to see this in America and in other parts of the world too. ChargePoint is also offering this DC fast charging network. So they're stating here you can charge your battery to up to 80% in just 45 minutes. But I think as technology starts to come into play, we're going to have different types of batteries and we're going to have faster charging as well. And some cars may even have that battery swap technology that Neo has. And you can see here in loads of other places around the world, there's charging points being built all across different locations. So it's going to be very good for people to be able to charge their vehicles. And it's going to push really the industry to move into electric vehicles. So one of the things people were saying about, hydrogen vehicles and why haven't we moved into hydrogen is because the infrastructure isn't in place yet. So with all this funding coming for electrical infrastructure, it's going to make it even easier for companies like this to make money. But I wonder in the future, what will happen when the hydrogen industry comes into play and we can charge our cars for even less than electricity. So here we can see there's a webinar here, North Carolina businesses, fleets and multifamily properties. Join us to learn what grants, rebates and tax credits are available to you right now. So this is offering a presentation showing how you can claim EV charging incentives in North Carolina. And we can see lots of businesses are actually moving towards electrification too. So they're creating workplace charging programs and they're continuing to grow this and roll this out over different locations and branches. So let's take an overview of what ChargePoint is. So I'm going to run a little video here for you guys to see. And then we're going to look at the figures and statistics. So we'll see exactly how many charges they've given out, how many locations there are in the world, and we can predict what is going to happen for this company. Howdy, let's go.
What kind of company builds an electric vehicle charging network before the first mass market electric vehicle has even rolled off the assembly line? Okay, we admit it. It's us. We're ChargePoint. And our passion? No, our obsession is helping everyone make the switch to electric mobility. We see this moment in time as an opportunity to change the world for the better. And since change is hard, the best thing we can do is build a robust network that makes it easy for people to switch from the old way to the bright and shiny new way.
Yo, look at this right here. You can see you can pay very instantly using your phone. So it looks very simple for you to do. You literally put your car on charge, whack in how much you're going to charge it, put pay on.
And that's what we've been doing since 2007. Designing a charging experience for businesses, fleets and drivers that is as easy, convenient and seamless as possible. We've built North America's largest charging network and we're rapidly expanding in Europe. We've worked with everyone from car manufacturers and utilities to policymakers and influencers to pave the way for EV ubiquity. And we've developed advanced software that makes the charging experience simple. This is much more than just business to us. Electric mobility means cleaner air. And what's more important than that? It's this passion that has driven us to deliver more industry-shaping innovation than anyone. We'll be dreaming and driving and innovating new ways to make the EV charging experience as user-friendly as possible. Every waking moment we...
What the hell was that, an Apple Watch? Let's go back to that. Did you see an Apple Watch here?
Driving and innovating new...
What? This guy's paying with his Apple Watch. That is crazy.
Ways to make the EV charging experience as user-friendly as possible. Every waking moment we have. We can't help it. That's just who we are. ChargePoint.
Okay, now we're going to go into some facts about ChargePoint here that they've put on their website. Someone plugs in every 2 seconds. So for more than a decade, we've been building the fueling network of the future. So they've delivered more places to charge than anyone else. And people are counting on them on a daily basis to charge all day, every day. They have provided access to hundreds of thousands of places to charge with one single account. They have delivered over 86.5 million charges and counting. So their ChargePoint account can also give you 80% of AC charging and 99% of fast charging, the DC charging, in North America. 60% of Fortune 50 companies are ChargePoint customers. These are some of the top Fortune 50 companies, so about 60% of companies within this portfolio is actually providing charging. So we've got Square here, we've got Spotify, even Mercado Libre. Some of these are massive companies. You can even see Shopify, Tesla, Xiaomi. Some of these are huge. In terms of EV charging, they do it for passenger cars, delivery vehicles, buses and more. They can charge any type of vehicle that is EV anywhere it goes. So they've got a fully integrated portfolio of hardware, cloud services and support with the best technology in the industry. They're also trying to make it as high quality as possible with good reliability and test teams in-house. They've got a mobile app and a home charger. So they are trying to roll out the best technology they can. And here you can see they continue to patent every single product in their portfolio. They've received over 20 plus awards as well for their work and their technology. And they are designing it for the EV industry, for EV drivers across the world. And also all the robotic fleets, autonomous fleets, all of them can use ChargePoint. So their goal, if we look into the future, their pipeline for their goal is to have 2.5 million places that you can charge by 2025. And by doing this, they're going to save the world, baby. Well, they're claiming that they can reduce 355,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. So I've been holding this company since $12.50, and I'm planning also to actually average in. If it drops back into the 30s again, maybe 35, 36, I'm probably going to have to average up because I haven't fully built in my position for this company, and I think this company can be a very lucrative and good company that's going to benefit the world for generations to come. Remember, none of this is financial advice, it's for entertainment purposes only. If you'd like to drop me comments, tell me what your thoughts are, what your positions are in this company, and let me know if you're in any other competitor companies to SBE, and let me know your thoughts surrounding why you think it's a good competitor. Like I've heard Blink Charging is getting deals across Europe, and they've got a deal with one of the biggest electric providers in Greece. So I love to hear news like that, so just hit me up with some comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Mr. Investor Lot, over and out, baby.